There is this law in the third volume of Marx Capital, the necessary tendency of the rate of profit to fall. Okishio's theorem disproves this. There are a lot of confusions about this theorem in Marxist circles. Therefore, this video is about Okishio's theorem. According to Marx, labor is the only source of value. Therefore, if you produce a commodity, there are capital and you should spend labor on top of capital to create the commodity. Capital, that is to say material, machinery and tools, are product of labor. But they are product of past labor, which Marx called dead labor. According to Marx, dead labor cannot increase its own value itself. Therefore, capital cannot increase value itself. Workers should spend labor, living labor, on top of capital to add value. A part of labor is paid as wages. Therefore, there are two parts of the living labor, paid labor and unpaid labor. Paid labor is wages and unpaid labor is what becomes the profit of the capitalist. So this is how to calculate the rate of profit. Unpaid labor divided by paid labor plus capital. Now, when the technology advances, capital component grows, labor component shrinks. When the labor component shrinks, unpaid labor component is also shrinks. When we look at the equation, you can see in the numerator, unpaid labor is there. It shrinks, and in the denominator, there is capital and it grows. So ultimately, what's the result? Rate of profit will fall. So Marx mentioned some countervailing tendencies that works against the rate of works against the falling rate of profit, but those countervailing tendencies are not powerful enough to overturn the fall of rate of profit. Therefore, when we consider a long time, longer periods, rate of profit will fall. Okay, this is Marx's claim. Many Marxists like to show us graphs like this, and they'll say, look at this graph. Rate of profit is falling. But this is not a good way to prove or disprove something like the rate of profit, the tendency of the rate of profit to fall. First thing, different economists came up with different graphs. Because we are living in a capitalist society, so the mainstream economy is not Marxian. Institutions collect data and create metrics not according to Marxian economists standpoints. Therefore, the people who are going to approximate Marxian rate of profit should do many assumptions. Therefore, the data is corrupted. This graph is not an actual graph. This is I created this graph using a Python script. You can see here, it's pure random. It's starting from 21, and for each year it can go a random Gaussian step in average 2 up or 2 down. This is what I get. If you run that code again and again, you will get different shapes, but this is one shape we can obtain. Uh, there's no law behind it. It's pure randomness. Therefore, pure randomness can generate charts like this. Hence, Marxists should not show graphs like these and argue those graphs through the rate of profit, the tendency for the rate of profit to fall. Now, since there's no way to empirically prove or disprove this, we should go into theoretical argumentation. Okishio theorem is how to disprove TRPF theoretically. Okay, what Okishio's theorem is really about. Now, think about an economy with a lot of industries and there's an initial rate of profit. Now, one capitalist in one industry adopts a new technology. Now, all the other capitalists are still using the old technology, therefore prices are same. But this capitalist, the early adopters of the technology, have an advantage. They have increased efficiency. They have cut cost, but the prices are still the same because other people are using the old technology. Therefore, they can cut cost and sell to the same price and get higher rate of profit. But this is not the rate of profit of the other people. This is just the rate of profit of the early adapters. But after some time, all the other people in this industry will adopt the same technology and uh, they also cut cost or increase efficiency, and then they should compete with each other. They will lower the prices and compete with each other. When they lower the prices, the rate of profit will fall again. Now, does this prove Marx's claim? After the technological advancement, when it widespreads and the competition happens, it will fall again. Will this prove Marx's claim? No, because there are three possibilities. According to Marx, the profit will fall below the original value, or there's another possibility, it might end up in the same level, and there's another possibility, the rate of profit will ends up something higher than the original level. That's what Okishio proved. So in my book, in my recent book, Failure of Marx in Economic Discourse, A Critique of Das Kapital, I have given some simple examples of the Okishio theorem. Okishio theorem is a very complicated mathematical proof, but we can demonstrate it with simple examples. Now think about an economy with an iron industry and a corn industry. And you can see to create 1 unit of iron, half unit of iron is needed and 1/4 unit of labor is needed. To create 1 unit of corn, 1/4 unit of iron and 1/4 unit of labor is needed. Now, P1 is iron price and P2 is corn price. The real wage for 1 labor unit is 1/3 of corn. Now, if you calculate, you can get paid labor to unpaid labor ratio is 1:7. Now, we should calculate the rate of profit. How can we calculate it? Now, you can see for the iron industry to create 1 unit of iron, this is the cost. 1/2 P, 1/4 units of labor, and this is the wage for the labor. Now, in the same way, this is the cost for the 1 unit of corn. Now, this is the cost for 1 unit of iron, and the capitalists sell 1 unit of iron for this price, and you can uh, write using the rate of profit. If you multiply the cost with 1 plus R, you get the final price. Now, when you write the equations like this, you get two simultaneous equations. Now, you can solve the equations and you'll get 83.45%. Now, if one capitalist adopts a new method in the corn industry that cuts labor cost by half, that means to create 1 unit of corn, now there'll only be, it's only needed 1/8 unit of labor. What will happen? At first, only that capitalist uses that technology. Other capitalists are still using the old technology, therefore prices won't change in the beginning. Therefore, with the current price, the capitalists, the early adopters, cut costs, and he gets higher rate of profit. But after that, the new technology widespreads across the corn industry, and all the capitalists are using the same new technology, and now they want they will compete with each other, lowering the prices again. So when this will happen, there's a P1 and P2, there are iron prices and corn prices. Those prices will change again. At first, only one capitalist is using the new technology, so the prices are the previous prices, so he'll get higher rate of profit. Now, after the technology widespreads in the corn industry, all the capitalists will compete against each other, lowering the prices. So we have to recalculate new iron prices and corn prices. You can see when corn prices decreases, labor wages also a bit decreases because you have to spend less amount of price per corn. Now, this is the next rate of profit after the new technology widespread in corn industry. You can calculate putting 1/8 here. So when you solve this equation, you will get 84.62%. Now, initially it was 83.45%, and now it's 84.62%. So you can see there's an increase. So this is what happens. Initial rate of profit is like this, and it will rise for one capitalist, and when the industry spreads across the industry, it will end up like this, something higher than the original value. Yeah. Now, there are some Marxists argued against Okishio theorem. Their argumentation there is like this. In the Okishio theorem, we use P1 and P2 as input prices, and we have used the same P1 and P2 in output prices. Those Marxists claim input prices and output prices are not equal in a cycle. They claim it's wrong to assume input prices and output prices as something equal. Therefore, according to them, output prices should be different. Now, when you create equations like that, there are too many variables because now prices are different. New p values come into the picture, so there are too many variables. You can solve the equation. That's their way of getting around the Okishio's theorem. But I think this argument is wrong because we do not have to assume prices are output prices are equal to output prices to get the result. Rather than we can deduce them. Okay, in one cycle we have an input. From that input we get the output. This output will become the input to the next cycle and we get another output. So that output will become the input to the next cycle. So on. Each output will become input to the next cycle. So if we write equations for each cycle, we get set of equations like this. Then after we get large number of cycles, we can add them together and average. When we sum and average, now you can see these p values, sum of the p value, average of the p values on the left hand side and sum of the p values in the right hand side. Not the sum, actually average of the p values of the left hand side and average of the p values of the right hand sides should be equal, because now output of one cycle will become input to the next cycle. So each price term will be there in the output and input of the next cycle. So therefore it's repeated in the left and right. So the same values will come to the left and same values will come to the right. When you sum and average them together, the average values of these are equal to in the both sides. Now you can calculate and find R. So you do not have to assume the prices of the input prices and output prices to be equal in one cycle. You can think about large number of cycles and then you can sum and average them together to obtain the rate of profit. Now to sum up, it's getting expected value of P. We can write the equation output prices are different to input prices, and then we can get expected value of both sides. Now expected value of P dash and expected value of P should be equal, so we can get the same result. We can prove Okishio theorem again. Now before the technological disruption, this is the equation. P equals AP plus 1 plus R. We can consider large number of cycles and add an average. And after the technological disruptions, we can add an average large number of cycles and get the next equation. So when we calculate them, if the initial capitalist who adapt the technology can make a higher profit, even after the technology spreads across the particular industry department, still the rate of profit of the economy after the disruption is greater than the rate of profit of the economy before the disruption. That's what Okishio theorem claims. Now you can see there is the direction of these. There is one equation, there's another equation. There is no direction here. Direction will come from the fact that the initial adopter will use the technology if he can increase his rate of profit in the current prices. If the initial adopter can increase the rate of profit, mathematically we can prove the final rate of profit after after the technology spreads is also greater than the previous rate of profit. That's Okishio's theorem. Thank you for listening.